Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone this morning? So good, I hope. So good. I am a little sniffy this morning. You know, unlike any other morning. Whatever. I did take my Sudafed, so let's hope that kicks in and dries up my head. I already had a sneezing attack this morning. So sorry. But I'm kind of on a postcard roll this morning, and so I thought that sounds like a perfect way to start our day, don't you think? So, the other day I did three that I kind of finished. So this one, I think we talked about, I had done everything except I hadn't added the little bit of a little teeny tiny sentiment here, be you. I thought that was perfect. And you'll remember that I had this postage stamp, and then I thought it needs something more to kind of ease it into this orange, and I found this little, I don't even know what those are called, but I have bunches of them. Anyway, digging that. I finished the red one. If you remember, I painted the background. I added a love stamp up here, and then go where your heart takes you. Love that. Good morning, Valerie. And then this one I finished with, you'll remember that I had painted it, and then I painted a yellow background, and then I did some stencil work in the centers of the flowers and in the backgrounds. That's always super fun. And then I added two stamps here. I added a turquoise necklace, which I thought went perfectly, and then a yellow butterfly, which I also thought went perfectly, and then collect beautiful moments. So those three are done. I have a couple more. I have this Easter egg that I painted, and then I went over with my mild liners. I have, like, I don't know. And then I did some pen work on it. I don't know. I feel like I want to do something more to it. I just don't know exactly what just yet. And so I thought, you know what? I'm just going to cut it out, and then hopefully something will come to me. I got my black and my white gel pens out. I thought that would be a good start. I have some more Easter eggs, and these are from the Eggsceptional art printable. They're under the Easter category, under the filter section of my website, but I will pop them up to the tippity top so that they are right there when you go to the art printables section of my website. So I'm gonna almost there. There we go. So now there's something that happens when you fussy cut something, and it's just, it doesn't have any of that other stuff competing with it. So I thought I would put it on one of these grid postcards. I don't know. Like, I thought that might be a good idea, but I don't know. It's feeling like a little bit. Good morning, Vicky. How are you this morning? Oh, what time is David heading across town? And yes, the tamale store was great. Let's see. I don't know. You know what? So I think I'm just going to set it aside until I come up with something better, because I have nothing right now. Okay, so now I have this background that I made 100 years ago. This is why you make a bunch of backgrounds when you have the moment, you know? I have this background that I made from a security envelope, and then I splatted with, they're like a bingo dauber, but they're from Ranger. Good morning, Patricia. And I was thinking, I think I want to do, I want to do these flowers like a border, and then I thought I might do like some washi tape there. And then I was thinking, what if I painted these in a color? Okay, I'll put it outside. I'll put it outside, Vic, because I don't know if I'll be home. I want to make sure that he can get it. I can't believe I forgot when I was at this tamale shop the other day. Whatever. Okay, so I'm thinking something like bright and contrasty. So I thought like bright pink. And so that leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk to you girls about. So do you remember I have this big set of all of my Prima marketing watercolors. And you'll remember I said my pink, I ran out of the pink and I couldn't find it anywhere. Like you used to be able to buy just the one pan refill. Well, I can't, that's been a long, long time ago. And you know, in our industry, things change. But I found Daniel Smith's Opera Pink matched it pretty well. And so what I do, I wanted to show you this idea, is if you have a pan that you use it all up, because look, now I need to find the orange and this red. But I did find this Daniel Smith Opera Pink watercolor, tube watercolor, and I filled the pan with this color, and the trick is you need to let it, like, leave your palette open until it dries all the way through. And think about, that's a lot of paint that has to harden. And so I fly out on Saturday, and so I will probably leave this open for the whole time I'm in Montana. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I come home on Tuesday. On Wednesday, it should be dry all the way through. But while that is happening, I can still use my wet brush, and I can, because now this paint is wet, right? So I can just come in, tap that down, and get a little bit of color on the tip of my brush. Then you know I like to use my matte, get a little bit of water in there, and then just start painting. I'm thinking I want to do, I'll do the center of the flower pink and the outline, the petals and the center, and then this one I'll leave, and maybe I'll come up with something grand to do right there. Center, and then the petals. I have this little box. Well, you've probably seen it before. This cigar box that I keep all kinds of bits and bobs in. And I think, like, for postcards, it's the perfect spot because it's just like a little treasure trove. Because I don't look in it all that often. So then when I do, I thought, oh, I forgot I had that in there. Oh, I forgot about that. So I'm going to let those dry. And then, while that's drying, you know, I always have to have something else in the hopper. And so I have these other two eggs that I thought, oh, those would be super fun to paint. So I have these other two eggs that are on the eggsceptional art printable. And so I am just feeling this hot pink this morning. And so I think I'm going to do the roses, hot pink, and then a bright green. And then I'm thinking like maybe a really nice turquoise in the background. Anybody have any other ideas? I hope that you're painting along with me. Because how fun would it to get a Easter postcard in the mail? Okay, so I'm gonna dip into that pink again. And I think I kind of like the idea of using my craft mat as my palette a little bit. I want to start with a wash and then build that. A little bit more water. So I'm just gonna, like I said, just do a watercolor wash on these and then build from there. I like to have a lot of things going sometimes. And other times I want to just concentrate on that one thing. Isn't that weird how that happens? Mm-hmm. There we go. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. And this needs to dry because so let's paint something on this egg. What about if we do the roses on here too? Don't complicate it. I think I'm going to just paint this whole section right there. And this one. Okay. And now I need to let that dry. But look I used up most of that paint. And I do have some little bits and bobs that I could use that paint on. Because, you know, can't waste. I have this. I have that. I have that. I have that. Oops, not the letters. So I'm thinking, oh, and I have this, which I thought might be kind of cool. Or I have these sentiments, which what if, because it's just a little tiny bit, what if I did, no. I was going to do the, nope. Okay, let's do these, shall we? And then I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they'll be painted and you know I'll think of something. I kind of like the idea of them, like just kind of building a layer. Do you know what I mean? Like I kind of like that idea. A little bit of water. Get that last little bit of paint. And these are going to need a couple more coats, but it's grand, it's grand. This one. There we go. Okay, we've used up all that paint. What are we going to paint now? Well, I have a couple ideas. I was thinking about, well, I still have this guy to do something more on, so I could do a little more on. I could do a little bit of more pen work on here. Let's see what we can do there. I'm looking for my little talking point peepers. Well, one thing I did want to talk about was, I had talked yesterday in Stitch Along about, oh, you know what? Oh, I just thought of something cute. What if, so I made, okay, if I'm working close, I gotta take this peepers off. I gotta take my glasses off. Okay, so this, if you can see, I made like a grid with a pink pen. What if I came in and did a white dot in the center of each of those little blocks? It's kind of cute, right? There we go. Oh, I love that. Like, that's bringing it to life. What do you guys think? I think so. I think so. Let's try. Maybe we do the same thing here. That white pen is, it's doing its job, I think. There we go. Okay. Now it's coming to life, you guys. Oh, so I was saying that I had read this thing and I thought, oh, you know what, it's worth it to repeat it. I had talked about it yesterday in Stitch Along, and so I'm going to talk about it again today. Things to start doing today. And so Vic, I was talking about when we were at lunch that we made sure we took a picture together, because one of the things that this list talked about was taking pictures with loved ones that you'll never regret taking the picture. And I thought, that's so true. That's so true, right? And we cherish them, right? Especially like, you know, if it's someone you don't see for a long, long time, or maybe you're seeing for the very first time. You want to capture the feeling and the, just that moment so that you have that to go back. Good morning, Tam. I've missed all of you. I'm on my computer, which hates me and won't let me comment on it, but I'm watching. But you know what? Your comment showed up. So there you go. There you go. So take the picture. Take the picture, you guys. And sometimes it's a little awkward. Just move past that. Because past the awkward is the sweet spot. Pick up the phone and check in on loved ones. And you know, sometimes it just has to be just a little check-in, and it makes all the difference. I was going to say that yesterday, I think I talked to you guys about this, but maybe I didn't. I have a cousin. I know I have a million cousins, but Jeff just laughs every time I say I have a cousin, and he's like, "Yeah, a million." Anyway, I have a cousin, Heather, who is my birthday twin. She's much younger than me, but whatever. I remember when she was the brand new baby of the family. Anyway, she's a Corbiere too, and she married a young man, married a man named Robert. She had a child from a previous relationship, and I think he had 4 children from a previous relationship. Anyway, when they married, they had this big blended family. They didn't have any children together. I think they kind of had enough, right? But they came to just love each other's children as their own. And yesterday, my cousin donated one of her kidneys for her stepson. And that was a huge, what a gift of life she gave to her stepson, you know? And so my dad and I were in contact all day, the day before and yesterday, because he got reports from her older sister, and they did post on Facebook, so the family knew. I told you we have a giant family, so there's no way you could call the whole family, but we were able to keep things, keep everyone informed through Facebook posts. Okay, let's see. What shall we do with the black pen? I don't know. Maybe let's do some grids on here, but in black. See what we get. Anyway, everybody came through well yesterday. I have this big, beautiful family who, in times of need, they are there. I'm just going to tell you, they are there. And so Heather had a waiting room full of family there to support her. I'm kind of digging that, you guys. What do you think? I'm kind of digging that. And I'm kind of hating those, and so I thought, what if I just go over it and just make it something else? Do you know what I mean? What if I make it that same kind of grid pattern, and then the part that I don't like, what kind of fade in the background? Oh my gosh, I got the cutest Happy Mail that I wanted to share with you guys. I got a birthday card in my post office box. That always makes me so happy. And look, it came in this clear envelope. And so I was like, oh, look at that. This was the card. And look at that. Doesn't it match perfectly with the flowers down on the bottom of here? Love that, love that, love that. And then here's the card. So beautiful. Happy birthday to you. And this stencil is from last year's artist retreat from the Crafters Workshop. And then it just says, happy birthday. And this is a stamp that I made 100 years ago. Here's to a day full of love and joy. Love, Denise. Have a great retreat. I'm missing all the fun I know I would have had. I love that. So pretty. So, so pretty. So that's a mail call today. I did want to, while I'm waiting for all of these things to dry, I wanted to say that I'm every retreat I draw a new logo, and so this retreat was no different. And so if you order washi tape, I always add little extra things in there, but this time I have 3 things that I will be adding to your washi tape order, that as your free gifties. And so they are a new pen that has the new logo, a mushroom. And here is a new vinyl sticker with the new logo, and a chapstick. Stop it right now, with the new logo. So anyway, I just wanted to give that little commercial. Good morning, Susan Bain. How are you this morning? Okay, so now I'm thinking, well, let's do some, I want to do some lines this way. On this little posy down here. And I'm wondering if I go back and I make these lines black instead of that pink. I think that might, because then that would kind of keep up with the patterning that I've created in other pieces. So remember, we've talked about rules of design is to repeat patterns or repeat a color. Good morning. So where are you today, Miss Susan? Are you home? Susan is the most traveling girl. I know your big trip is coming. I think I'm gonna like this better. The addition of this black. Here we go. There we go. Kind of digging that. Kind of digging that. What do you guys think? What about this? What if I just did dot, 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 surrounding this center? Kind of liking that. Oh, what if I did it here too? So take the pictures. Take the pictures. But if you are unable to, lock that memory in your mind. Of your time spent with your loved one. Yeah, I'm liking that. And then I think, stop saying I'll do it when something, 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 and just start. And I think that we get hung up on that sometimes, but I think if we just start, doesn't mean you have to finish it immediately, but if you just start, I think that, that does make a difference. More pen work on here. There we go. Desi and I, she wanted to come over yesterday after school, and I said, well, I have a bunch of errands to run. I hate running errands. So it was kind of fun to have somebody do it with me. I found out that she hated running errands too, but we were together and we just enjoyed each other's company. And then we grabbed salads and we headed to Joni's house and we had dinner with her, and it was grand. It was grand, grand, grand. And she loves Joni's cat, Tux, and so she played with Tux, and Joni and I visited, and then she'd come in and visit with us a little bit and talk about art, and then she'd go back outside and play with the cat, and it was great. It was great. It was a perfect evening. There's nothing like a girlfriend evening, is there? Nothing, nothing, nothing. I think I want to do this one down here. Add that little bit of black. That little bit of pen work has just brought to life an Easter egg that I was like, "Mwah." Like I loved the colors, but it just wasn't speaking to me. My friend Lucinda used to say that. Lucinda and I worked at a store, and we would have to make and takes and stuff, you know. And sometimes our boss would give us paper to make the make and takes with. And Lucinda was like, "It's not speaking to me." And I got it. There were some papers that we were both like, I don't know. I had to think real hard to come up with an idea. But then I did. You know what I think it was? All those years of being on a million design teams where you kind of just have to adapt and come up with an idea, and it stretches your creative muscle, right? Hi, Sue. So you know, take advantage of those opportunities where you need to stretch your creative muscle. It makes a difference. It does. Okay, so let's come back. Oh, let's do these first. I think I want to deepen that pink feeling. So I'm going to pull a little bit more pink from that pan. I'm still going to add a little bit of water. And I'm just going to start right there at the base of the petals and build that. And I will build that dimension with the Jiggy Jiggy blend. Okay, I'm going to twist my paintbrush onto my mat, pulling off as much pigment as I can, then tapping it on my paper towel. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to pull that color up the sides, right? And then do that Jiggy Jiggy blend, and then up the sides, Jiggy Jiggy blend, tap off any extra color on my paper towel. Then I'm going to do the same here. Pull up the sides. That's going to give that petal some form, right? Get some of that color from the center and pull that up the sides. And then tap off some of that color, and then Jiggy Jiggy blend, Jiggy Jiggy blend. The more we do that, the more shape our petals will start to take. And just take your time with it. And then if you have excess paint, like I just put it right here at the tippity top of the center, and then I'll come back and use my Jiggy Jiggy blend to blend that out, and then I'll get a nice form that happens. Okay. So then let's do the same thing here. Pull up on the sides. Tap off the excess, and then Jiggy Jiggy blend, Jiggy Jiggy blend. Pull off the excess and wipe it on your paper towel. Oh. this wasn't quite dry enough, and so it pulled too much color off, so we'll kind of fill that back in. There, oh, look at that. Perfect. Loving that. So, let those sit, and then let's move down here. Do you see how just that little bit of addition is helping form on our petals, right? So let's pull that down the sides. Right? Tap off the excess and then come back in, jiggy blend. See, I let that sit too long, so I have to work a little harder. Blend that out. And there, do you see that little bit that just happens? Oh, I love when magic like that happens. When you're pulling color and you get this line, and then you can just work that gently to the line that outlines that petal, and you're going to get that perfect, in Joni's world she would call it a float, but mine's not a float. You just get that perfect blend, like you blend it out by just taking your time. Here we go. Let's do it here. Good morning, Keels. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pull up the sides. And then you see, I let that dry a little bit. It made like polka dots almost. Now I'm going to work that. Just do that jiggy blend. Remember, this is your control. That pointy finger is that determines the pressure that you use. It determines the direction that you have your brush move, or your pen, or whatever you, I almost said utensil. You know what I mean. Whatever artsy tool you're using. Just remember that's the driver. Blend, and then pull that up toward that black line. That's going to there we go. This one I had way too much water, so I'm going to have to work on that a little bit more. That's okay. So I'm going to loosen that up and pull that up. There we go. Look at that. Nice blend right there. And we're just going to jiggy blend there, jiggy blend. And turn your substrate, and then let's just pull that up. Right close to that black line. Wipe off the excess. And we're just slowly starting to build some nice gradation. I'm going to grab a little bit more of this color. And I'm going to build a little bit down here. Just continue that build and that blend. So I'm just going to put some down at the base again. And then I'll blend that out after it sits for just a little bit. Everybody take a drink. Now let's get back to these roses. Look how pretty they are. So remember, we're going to twist our brush and pull off as much color as we can, but twisting it gets it kind of evenly distributed around the bristles. And let's start. We're just going to work that around the edge of each little petal of the rose. And remember, that's going to, we're going to work on pushing that toward the black line. But we know right here in this little V, it's going to be dark. because we have lots of things converging together and they will touch each other. So we're just gonna, that's where you're gonna put some color, add some color. And then let's just do it on one side of the center. Oh, here's one. And I just like to do a slow build of this. Little by little by little. Look at this, just kind of naturally happened. Shut up! That's working in my favor. And pull from there. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see. Right here, we have a little bit of a dark area. Right here. Let's make that one. I mean, sometimes that's fun too. Like, you get to determine it. If it's a weird shape like this, right? Oh my gosh, another one of the things on that list of things to start doing today is be the person who makes plans happen. And sometimes I'm really good at that, and sometimes I'm not so good at that. But I've also learned to give myself grace, that I'm not a perfect person. And sometimes, you know, that nobody is, and that's how growth happens. And but I try awful hard. And I think sometimes, you know, it's easier to give other people grace than your own self, but we need to do that, you know. Telling family and friends you love them. I work really hard on trying to do that, but you know, I'm sure I have times when I miss the mark, and so working really hard on that. Let me see, what are the other ones? Owning and embracing and loving your true self. Oh man alive, that's so good, isn't it? And we talked about it in Stitch Along yesterday, that is that's kind of hard to do sometimes, but it kind of comes with age. Like, nope, this is who I am. Good, bad, and ugly. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna let that sit. I'm starting to build my bits and bobs. So let's do some here, because this is a really watery wash, because remember, that was just the tail end of the paint. Let's get a little bit of water in there. That helps move that color. There. I was just talking to Lauren this morning. She is taking her girls to Universal Studios. I think it's called Studio City, maybe Studio Center. I don't know where anyway. So I'm so excited for her. She just had a birthday, and what a better way to celebrate than hanging out with well, I get to hang out with all my best pals, and on my birthday at the retreat. That was pretty fun. Not everyone, that's for sure, but a lot of them. One year I had a virtual birthday party, and that was kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that next year. I don't know. It was pretty fun. Oh, look at that. That's a nice blend right there. That's making me happy. Okay, let's get some going here. We had these salads. So I told you, Desi and I went to Joni's. We took dinner to Joni's house last night. And we went to Cafe Zupa, which I love. Joni and I fell in love with those mango berry salads years ago, and I'm just going to tell you, it hits the same every time we have it. It's so delicious. Desi had a protein bowl. She was kind of fascinated by that. And she loved it too, so it worked out great. And you get a chocolate-covered strawberry for dessert. I mean, come on. How could you go wrong, you know? All right, I got this little bit of pink left. So, what do I have that I could paint pink? Oh, I have this Easter egg over here that I could paint pink. I could do some layering of color. A little bit by bit. And let that sit and then come back and blend it out. Jeff comes home today. He and Maisie come home to me. He said, Maisie, when they go on a walk, he said, she's the biggest, baddest dog until somebody like barks back or a person whistles at her or says something to her. Then she gets all scared. I have never had their protein bowl Keels, but Desi said she loved it. But she didn't want any roasted cauliflower or peppers. She doesn't like either one of those things. And I thought, that's a pretty small thing to not like in a protein, because there were so many other things in there. And Joni showed her how to, because she was like, I don't have enough dressing. And I said, well, you kind of just need to keep mixing it up with your fork. And Joni said, babe, just put the lid on and then shake it up. Oh, she was so happy to learn that skill. She was. And she and Tux just love each other. Joni's cat. So, anyway, we had a great visit. All right. I think that's about all I'm going to get out of this. Am I? Because I think I watered this down too much, but that's all right. A little bit more. Oh, the next thing on the list is making the move, messaging the person, applying for the job, or asking the question. I thought that was grand. I think, for Lauren, it's either her or her kids' spring break. And then I think Desi and Brax, I don't know when their spring break is actually. I should know that. I know their soccer and flag football schedule, but I don't know when their spring break is. But I bet they'll let me know because they're going to want to come over and swim. Okay. I'm really liking the idea of building this one with these strips and then maybe some, like I said, the addition of some washi tape and I don't know what else just yet. Next week, we introduce another Easter egg art printable, and that is called Hippity Hoppity. So it's I love this art printable. So we'll be playing with this all next week. Hippity Hoppity. It's from 2022. And this one I included a lot of text as I was creating the elements, music, and then text along with my sketchy drawings. So that's going to be so fun. So it's so fun to like layer things and use them individually. I love all that stuff. I love like a million opportunities. And I was going to tell you, I have one more Easter egg art printable that I will after class today, I will put it in the, I will bump them up to the top. And this is called Lena. And I drew this in honor of my high school, well, my childhood friend, Donna Dijak. Her grandmother was Lena Dijak, and she was from Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia. And she showed me how to do Pasanki. No, now I don't remember how to say it. Hey, Judy, that's my cousin. How are you? Anyway, she showed me how to do the eggs that you decorate with. There's a tool that's like kind of like a pencil, and on the end there's a little vial, and there's a vial and like a little coney kind of funnely vial, and then at the bottom there's a little piece of metal that is kind of like a writing instrument, and you fill that vial with wax, and so you draw with that, and then once that wax is dry, you dip it in Easter egg dye, and then you wipe off the wax, and then you can come back and draw again, and then repeat the process. Oh my gosh, so fun, so fun, so fun. But this was also during the Ukrainian when the Ukrainian war started. That's kind of sad, isn't it? That this was 2022, and they're still at it over there, unfortunately. So that's what we did. I did a peace sign. I did the word hope, and I did just some dots or some bubbles, and those all are made to fit in the center of this flower. And so, if you're feeling like you want to make some Easter egg postcards, or you want to make Easter egg cards, or you want to make an Easter egg banner, I have lots and lots of Easter eggs for you to paint, to fill with color, however you choose. Oh, you know what? I was thinking, how am I doing on time? I have enough time to do another color at least. So I think I'm going to do the green next. Let's see. I'm going to pull some of this, my favorite green on this palette. Don't you always have like a favorite color on each watercolor palette that you have? Or each pen set or each crayon set? Do you know what I mean? I always have a favorite color, and this green is one of them, and the pink, obviously. And lucky me, they're opposite on the color wheel, so I get to use them with each other a lot. I'm going to fill in these leaves. And remember, I said I'm going to paint the background turquoise. I think that'll be really pretty. There we go. Let's move this one over. What if we do the background of this one green? I think that might be pretty. I don't have any leaves on this one, but I could certainly do the background green. Just take my time. Oh my gosh, I was listening to Supertramp again this morning. Oh my gosh. Keely recommended this book, and I started it yesterday. No, the day before. Oh, Keels, I'm loving it. And it calls, the name of it is, darn it, Keels. Oh my gosh. Just a second. Let me think for a second. Like, I picked this book for you, or I knew you'd love this book. I'm telling you, I'm loving it. I am loving it. I am loving it. It all takes place, like it revolves around a bookstore, and the characters that visit that bookstore, that run that bookstore. Oh my gosh, it's just the loveliest story. We just finished a kind of heavy book in book club, and so this was a lovely diversion. Not without its own bits of emotion, certainly, but so good. So good. I love this green. It just feels so spring green. I'm going to go to Trader Joe's today because do you know what they have? They have shamrocks. So I want to grab a shamrock plant. Hey Keels, did you get your Arizona Trader Joe's bag while you were here? Stop, look at that. Oh, you guys, I'm loving that. I'm loving it so much. So pretty. Set that aside to dry. This book made me think of you. Run, don't walk, and treat yourself to a copy. It's so, so good. It's so, so good, you guys. Ariana Trigiani said that it was the feel-good book of the year, and I believe it. I believe it wholeheartedly. It's so, so good. I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to fussy cut these and then work these in somehow. I'm kind of liking that idea. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out just yet. But I am thinking that I want to use this green. You did find them. Yay, I'm so glad. I know, simple pleasures, right? A well-spent 99 cents. There we go. It doesn't, we are girls of simple taste, Keely. We are girls of simple taste. There we go. One last little bit right there. Now I have a lot of things that have to dry before I paint the next round. Boo. Everybody take a drink. I adore you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I hope that you are continuing on your color hunt. I hope that you opened your newsletter this week. I hope that you put your trash out because Thursday is trash day. And so I put my trash out and now I need to bring those back in. So I hope you did that. I hope that you go out and make it the most tremendous Thursday. Ooh, continue with your color hunt. Whatever colors you see, snap a picture and then there'll be a call in the newsletter for each color. I can't wait to see what everybody posts that is purple this week. The bags make me feel better about grocery shopping, remembering my travels. Yes, because you have bags from all over. I love that too. I love that too. And now we have one from Australia. Shut up. How cool is that? Anyway, go out and make it a tremendous Thursday. We have the power. I adore you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And remember, eggsceptional, Lena, and hippity hoppity. Those are the Easter eggs this week. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.